So today I will be doing a literature review presentation for Instructional Leadership 5100, Graduate Education and Technology. I want to give you an overview of what my literature review is about. So I studied 3 articles in this literature review, and the titles, the first article that I studied was on implementing new technology during the COVID-19 pandemic. In this article, there was a focus on teacher mental health. The second article that I studied was on teacher collaboration and technology integration and how it helps to promote technology in schools. And my last article was focused on principals, digital leadership in schools. This is a picture that shows what the implementation of technology looks like and where we are currently today. My first article, there were some major findings that I wanted to discuss. So in my first article, there were surveys that were conducted on teachers' satisfaction with technology. So due to COVID-19, there were a lot of major changes that occurred in education. So teachers were surveyed across several different states to see how they felt about integrating technology and having to implement new technology strategies. In the next slide, I'm going to show you some statistics. There were several numbers of teachers that were not satisfied with the training. And due to the dissatisfaction with training, a lot of teachers struggled with their mental health. A lot of teachers dealt with stress, anxiety, and depression as a result of having to switch from face-to-face instruction to online learning. This is a clip from the first article because I wanted to show you all some statistics and some numbers. So the results of the study from the first article shows that in fall of 2020, there were about 7,500 participants that responded to a survey for teachers from K through 12 across several different states. Some of those states included Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. So when COVID-19 hit, several teachers had not been incorporating a lot of technology into their classroom, which meant that most teachers had to learn new technology. So as you can see in the pie graph to the right at the top, that 88% of teachers had to learn new technology, and that only 12% were mostly using technology already in their classrooms prior to COVID-19. So this led to a lot of stress with a lot of teachers having to make this quick transition. So with that being said, there was a lot of training that had to take place. And due to such a swift transition, the bar chart shows that there was about 2,000 teachers from these teachers that were surveyed that were moderately or even mostly satisfied with the technology training, and that there was a higher number that was not satisfied or only a little satisfied with the training. So with these statistics and these numbers, this shows that there were several teachers who didn't feel comfortable using the technology that they had been taught to teach the students. The second article that I studied focused on teacher collaboration and transformational leadership. So transformational leadership is extremely important in helping teachers feel supported during such a quick, swift technology change. So a transformational leader is able to inspire and motivate their teachers by using different types of transparency and how they want things to be through a vision that they have for their particular school. And also teacher collaboration is important in the integration of technology. So teachers working together, supporting each other, helped with the transition during the COVID-19 era. Transformational leaders are better to accept technology changes. This shows some article findings from Article 2, and it shows how transformational leadership helps to guide the different types of collaboration. So there were two types of collaboration that were focused on during this study. The first type of collaboration that teachers used was formal collaboration. So, formal collaboration was a more structured, strategic type of strategy that teachers used to work together. And then the informal collaboration was not as structured. It was more focused on goals, goals that were set to help with students as they transitioned during this technology era. So, teachers working closely together is what helped to yield positive educational results. The last article that I studied focused on effective digital leadership, and it also took a look at intrinsic motivation. So, principals had the responsibility of transitioning over into becoming digital leaders during this transition during COVID-19. They were responsible for making sure that their teachers were trained. They were also responsible for making sure that the students had what they needed to complete remote learning. So, due to COVID-19, online learning became more prevalent. Principals had to focus on how to lead schools through remote versus face to face, which basically took away from their everyday and daily activities that they normally would do as principals. So, a lot of principals were not as visible during this time of online learning. This is another clip from one of my articles. So at the top, we see that teachers' intrinsic motivation for digital leadership and digital instruction is the mediator. So being an intrinsic motivation is basically just being encouraging from within. So a lot of teachers' attitudes directly affected students' abilities to learn. So if teachers were motivated from inside, if they were satisfied with their training, they did a better job of being able to relay new material and new information to the students. On the other side, if teachers weren't comfortable, had negative attitudes, it had a negative effect on student learning. But the guide to all of it was a principal's digital leadership. So if you had a principal that was comfortable in digital leadership, that was encouraging the teachers to go to professional developments and learn new things, they were better encouragers to teachers who may have been uncomfortable. So COVID-19 inspired a lot of research in technology, more research in technology than had ever been done before. Digital leaders were responsible for promoting a technology vision within their school during COVID-19. Remote schooling directly affected school norms. So the normal things that schools would do face to face, they were not able to do through online learning. So that took away from a lot of the interaction of teacher with student and also student with student. Because since the students couldn't be with each other on a day-to-day basis, they had to find other ways to communicate and other ways to work collaboratively. This last slide shows the resources that I use to do my digital research. All of these resources gave me great information and great background on the importance of technology and the integration of technology in the classroom. The main points that I wanted to bring out was how COVID-19 had a huge impact on technology use in schools. It was beneficial to the students because it was a different way to learn. And it was also beneficial to teachers because they had to learn new teaching strategies and technologies. They had to learn how to implement technology in new ways. I hope that the information that I shared with all of you was something that would be beneficial. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for your attention with my presentation. Thank you all.